Hi, you're joining me in London today, where I've taken the opportunity to meet up with a great friend of mine, my coach and mentor, Neill. Now, Michael really is one of the best life coaches in the world. He's an international best-selling author of You Can Have What You Want and Feel Happy Now, and a coach to the Hollywood elite on both sides of the cameras. Rock stars, celebrities, and even royalty call on Michael's help. So he really is worth listening to. So enjoy. I think you'll learn a lot from these next few segments. So let's meet Michael. Hey Michael, listen, I want to begin by talking about happiness, because all too often when I work with clients, it's kind of the thing that they aspire to have. It's, I'll be happy. I just want to be happy. And everything else is just secondary to it. I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
And
they're lying, you do know that.
Yeah, of course.
Because they want to be happy and have lots of nice stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
And of course what they do is they attach having nice stuff to being happy.
Yeah. No, it's everybody's got it backwards, but because everyone's got it backwards, nobody knows that everybody's got it backwards. Eric Fromm had this great quote that just because millions of people share the same pathology doesn't make it right. and it is. It's the way that we're taught it works. It's a continuum. So we're over here, and there's this continuum in front of us, and on this side we have happiness, and on this side we have misery. And so we got to figure out how to spend as much time as we can over here and as little time as we can over here. So the way that we do it, the first way that we're kind of taught to do it is, I know if I have the right stuff, then I get to be happy. So I try and get all the right stuff, and then I find I've got the right stuff, and I'm still not always happy.
Right.
Or sometimes it kind of throws me because I don't have the right stuff yet, but I'm happy, so what's wrong with that? So I better make myself miserable to kind of keep doing that. And at some point we do figure out, most people do figure out, that doesn't really work that way. Yeah. Having the right stuff isn't enough. So then we get really clever and we go, okay, if it's not having the right stuff, the real thing must be, I got to do the right things. So if I just do the right things, then I'll be happy. If I do the wrong things, I'm going to be unhappy, but I'm going to try really hard to do the right things. But then I find that sometimes I'm doing all the right things and I'm still miserable, and sometimes I find I'm not doing any of the right things and happiness just comes up, and so it can't be that. So then we start getting clever, we start getting our self-help books out, and we go, now I say, what I've been doing it wrong. It's not having what you want, it's not doing what you want, it's thinking the right thoughts.
Yeah, of course.
So if I think the right thoughts, I'll be happy. If I think the wrong thoughts, I'm going to be unhappy. And perfect. So I'll just think positive all the time. Happy, happy, happy. God, I hate my life. and it doesn't work. And that's the thing is, and people think that it's supposed to work. They think the problem is they're just not doing it right.
Yeah.
That if they only tried harder, if they were more disciplined, nobody can do it.
Yeah, so they get unhappy about the fact that they're not.
Right. It's what's wrong? I can't think that. And so at some point, if people stick with it and just don't give up on the whole thing, they then start getting spiritual and they go, the problem is that I think. So if I don't think, then I'll be happy. Yeah. And if I think, then I'm going to be unhappy. So I'm going to meditate. I'm going to get spiritual. I'm going to create inner quiet. And that works until you start thinking about trying to not think.
Yeah, I can do that for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I got up to a minute once. It was awesome. Yeah. It was great. I really.
Before that, I must email that guy.
It must have been in the 80s. It was awesome. but so they do that, and then at that point, if somebody sticks with it, they either try harder than ever to be disciplined, and I'm really going to meditate every day, and I'm really going to do this. And sometimes they actually do break through and get beyond a minute and get to a place where they can have a sense of inner quiet and inner peace. And often they will experience well-being, and then when the 30 minutes is up, they go back to their lives and are miserable.
It's a very temporary state.
Right. Yeah. So the reality is, the reason it doesn't work is because that's not how happiness works. If you've ever seen a baby, or been one, they're
Briefly.
born happy. And it's the first thing you notice about a baby, if you look at a baby, is it doesn't need therapy. It might need a nappy change, it might need food, but it doesn't need therapy. Yeah. And that is our nature. I had a caller into my radio show once she was all worked up, and this is going wrong in my life, and this is going wrong in my life, and this is going wrong in my life. And I just to get her to calm down, I said, if I gave you a pot of murky water, what would you do to demurk it? Yeah. And she said, I'd boil it. and it was like, that's what she was doing in her brain. She was like trying to keep the thoughts going, because if I just make the thoughts go fast enough, then they'll stop. And it almost makes sense, except it doesn't work. Yeah. If you want water to demurk, if you want water to be clear, you leave it to sit. Yeah. And of course, all the murk settles. And the reason that it works is because the nature of water is clear. Yeah. And the reason that it works with us is because our nature is happy, it's well. It's not like happy, the opposite of sad happy. It's just a basic sense of well-being. Yeah. And so the way that you can think of it is, instead of it being a continuum that goes like this, it goes like this. And we just are in well-being. And yeah, we can think our way out of it and think our way back into it and up and down like this. And we'll do that even at any level. But underneath all the thinking, we can get more and more in touch with this basic well-being.
Yeah.
And life becomes an entirely different place when you start from well-being.
Yeah.
Because all those things that you were trying to do in order to be happy, you were doing in the wrong order.
Sure. And
a lot of them just fall away. And that's why a lot of change, once you kind of get how the game works, that you were born happy, you don't have to work so hard.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of chill out a bit. Which is, very Californian, but it works.
So what's the secret then? If I was stuck in a place of being busy and worried and striving to be happy, and I love that. I'd love to get to being chilled out and to being in touch with my innate well-being.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Well, bizarrely, by taking some time off from trying to get there.
Oh, okay.
It literally, one of the most common pieces of advice I'll give a client when they first come to me is take the next week off.
Right.
And if they can't take the next week off from work, take the next week off from this problem.
Yeah.
Give it to me. It'll still be there when you come back.
Yeah.
Just, go have fun. A couple comes to me, they've been fighting. Take a week off from trying to sort your relationship out. Go enjoy yourselves for a week. We'll work on the relationship next week. And invariably when they come back, it's like, it wasn't such a big deal after.
Yeah.
I don't know why we came. Because what happened is they finally calmed down enough to let the well-being come up.
And to start listening to their inner wisdom anyway, to start
right,
listening
because that's
to
the
their
thing,
inner
is
knowing.
when you're not doing all that,
Yeah.
then actually there is this sort of inner knowing and inner quiet and inner wisdom that just kind of goes, you know what, we need to turn left here. And then you do.
I had a client a couple of weeks ago, exactly the same thing. She came for a weight loss session. And it turned out that, it was nothing to do really with her diet. Diet was fine, but she sort of self-sabotaged herself. She thought her way into a problem.
Right.
And worried and became anxious that she wasn't eating the right things, doing the right things, disciplined enough, following the right... And when we actually got her to slow down, I think you've got a great phrase that often as a coach, you're a speed bump in people's lives, which is just getting them to take stock and just slow down. And when she did, even just for 20 minutes sitting with me, she realised that what she needed to do was go away and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, simple exercise that I'll often, if somebody's kind of going nuts, that I just give them is take 1 minute. Just take a minute. Don't do anything for a minute. And it drives people nuts. They go, I'm paying you for this?
Yeah.
But when they do, invariably, even just that 1 minute is enough to just create that space. So one of the things I'll often do with the client is I'll just get them to take 1 minute. And especially the less they feel like they can take 1 minute, the more I'll insist that they take a minute. And they go, what do you mean? I go, just take 1 minute to just be. What do you mean? Just take a minute. I'll let you know when the minute's gone.
Brilliant.
And it's extraordinary because they'll come back from that, no matter how much they didn't want to do it, a different person comes back because it just gave that space. You don't need a long time. It just gave that space for that natural well-being to come up. And from that well-being, you can do anything.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. Yeah. And one of the things that I found working with clients is that when they close their eyes and just go inside for that minute feels like a long time. Yeah. Time just starts, and it's amazing the feeling that they can reconnect with just in that.
Yeah, and they don't even have to try to reconnect. It just comes up. It just
happens. It's just
because
there.
Like the nature of water is clear, the nature of a human being is well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure.
Enjoy taking just 1 minute to yourselves. Just close your eyes. Just go inside and enjoy connecting with your well-being. It's there anyway. Have fun, and I'll see you again soon.